Hi there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. I am Chidi Akunna, and with me today is my dear husband,
Victor Akunna.
as always. All right, so if you're watching this, you might be on our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs. Okay, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you're notified when we drop our content. And to every returning subscriber, I would like to say thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for engaging with our content. You make it worth the while.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, so today, this is a continuation of the last video. And in the last video, we shared on the first 3 of 7 C's you need for a happy relationship. Okay, and we'll be sharing the rest of them today. And I forgot to tell you that our mission is simple: to connect hearts and raise healthy families.
Absolutely.
And what we're talking about today borders on connecting hearts. Okay, because sometimes you see people in a relationship and they wonder, oh, we're not having a good ride. Well, how come some people are enjoying it and some we are not?
Yep.
Okay, so these points are some of the points you would need to check for. Okay, and like we said in the last video, if you don't have them, you can learn them. You can see how you can, incorporate them into your relationship. And if you're having a good ride, hey, it can get better.
Absolutely.
So let's get working. And now for the 4 C's we'll be talking about today. The first of them is care. Care. Okay. Does this person care for your things, for things concerning you? Does he care about you? How can you be in a relationship with someone who doesn't care about you? Really? Okay. And we also take it to another level when we talk with couples and we say, do you care about my ideas? Do you care about the things I care about? Okay, that should be the case in a relationship. What do you think?
Absolutely. The opposite of that is being selfish. Are they always thinking about themselves first instead of your own best interest?
Yes.
Are they looking out for your best interest, your own mental well-being, your spiritual growth? Are they looking out for your financial growth? Are they looking out for your career growth? If someone cares about you, so for example, let's give an example. As a young couple just starting out, you guys just building your lives, and at the moment you just have one vehicle that is moving you, and then one of you decides to okay, well, where I'm working is closer, or I say you who's going farther, use this. That's the person is showing care, showing the best, putting the other person's interest above theirs for your comfort. So that's one way of being care. When people don't do that, when they make decisions, they think about their own best interests. They act as if they are still single.
That's true.
They act as if they are still single. So they are thinking and not thinking, what will she want? I'm going to make dinner. I'm thinking, what would she like to eat? I'm asking her. I'm going downstairs. I'm saying, all right, so would you want a cup of coffee? That is just the little thing that you can demonstrate to show that this person really cares. So in a relationship, all right, there are little things that the person can demonstrate. So for example, you are preparing for an exam. Maybe you're preparing you are in a medical field. You are preparing to write your medical exam. Maybe you've relocated to a new country and you are trying to write, in the UK we call it PLAB exam. So, and then your spouse or your spouse to be says, you know what, I saw this link, I think this will help you. That's the person is showing care, is thinking about what can I do to contribute to her journey. What can I do to contribute to his journey? How? I'm seeing opportunities. I'm not thinking about, oh, don't worry, somebody else will find, she'll sort it out herself. I'm thinking, I'm in this position for such a time as for it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to see this opportunity that will be of benefit to my spouse. And that's one key way where people can demonstrate care.
Okay, so if you also, there's something about, sometimes people would say, are you caring enough? Okay, you might be caring, but probably it's not coming across as sufficient to your spouse to be.
Fantastic.
So you can also ask, how can I help you? How can I support you?
Fantastic.
Okay, because sometimes you hear this thing of, oh, I don't feel supported.
Yes.
Then you should be asking, how? How can I help? Maybe I'm not doing it the right way or how you expect it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Another point I wanted to add to that is, caring does not mean you lose your own identity.
Brilliant.
Yeah, because sometimes some cultures present the role of a wife to be this role of a woman that is faceless. The woman should be heard and not seen. All right, so it's so if until you cut your both hands, it's not sufficient within the culture. It's seen as if the woman is not an equal what do you call it now? Equal partner in the journey of life. All right, so she should sacrifice her own career. She should abandon her dreams. Yeah. That's when it will be recognized as caring within your culture. No. The way marriage is set up is that every human being will be their best version of themselves. Otherwise, you stand the risk of having your wife go through, because women also go through midlife crisis, where they get to that point in their lives and they're asking, is this all my life is about? I mean, I was a more successful single lady. Who, what am I? What have I become? What have I done? And it's like, you come to that point where you just feel some sense of emptiness. All right, you don't want to have a resentful woman in your space, whereby she's feeling like she's come to support all your dreams. You are the one that everyone is talking about. You are the one everyone that is flying around, but nobody sees her. She has become a shadow of herself. No, you don't want that kind of situation. Yeah.
Okay, so that's care. The next point we would like to take is chemistry.
Fantastic.
Chemistry.
Fantastic.
What's chemistry? If I'm going to keep it simple, it's emotional connection.
Yeah.
Okay, the point where you connect with each other. You some people will say where you sync.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
This may not be instant in every relationship. Okay, because I'll give you an example. Someone might be asking, how about arranged marriages? Okay, yes, it's still there in some cultures.
Yes.
Okay, some people still practice that, where as your parents or family members arrange somebody and then they bring you together and expect you to go into marriage, marital agreement.
Yes.
So in a case like that, these are two people meeting each other. So what do? All right. So chemistry is just important. And how do you build chemistry? You can spend time talking, exploring your interests. Exploring your hobbies, that way, over time, you might begin to realize that, okay, we connect, you build connection that way. So what I'm trying to say is that even if you're in a relationship, don't be so fast to ditch the relationship because we don't connect.
Yes.
Okay, you can do something about it. Remember, we're sharing points that you can work on. Okay, have you tried this? Have you given it a shot? Okay, how about trying that? Yeah.
Fantastic. To me, what comes to my mind is, there are some people have different schools of thoughts when it comes to the concept of chemistry. They think that it's either it's there or it's not.
It's not, yes.
Some people believe it can be built. We believe that it can be built. All right. Now, sometimes people just oppose attraction for chemistry. So you can have attraction at first sight, where you see someone like, ooh, you just have that.
Yeah.
But you don't really know the person. You don't know if they are rude. You don't know if they align with your values. So by the time you get to know them, you just notice that, oh, this person just a very handsome, I don't want to use the negative word, but if mean person, someone can be very handsome, very attractive, or very mean and very vicious, very vengeful. After a while, you notice that you don't really have that attraction. So there can be attraction at first sight. That is what some people call chemistry. The chemistry is connection. You just have this connection with this person. Sometimes it's the way they think, the way they analyze things, you just have that connection with the person. Sometimes, most times, it's about the connection in terms of value system. You guys just get each other. So before you finish the sentence, the person just understands what you're saying, right? Because the person is flowing into a certain mental wavelength, a certain emotional wavelength. All right. So it can be cultivated. But the more you get to know the person, for example, when I met my wife, we didn't have that kind of chemistry at the beginning. Being that we were friends, we were very close friends, I felt so comfortable in her presence that I could discuss anything, about anything. All right. So now from that chemistry, from that understanding, friendship, we started building chemistry. When he now said, the qualities I'm looking for in a lady, does she even have them? That's when I made that emotional shift where I started seeing her as a spouse to be. All right. So, and then I remember one day we used to spend hours asking questions because, she was in a different country, I was in a different country. Was asking us, so what are your dreams? What are your goals? Family background. We were getting to know each other. So the more I was understanding her values, as I was seeing a lot of similarities. And those similarities don't leave you the same. It gets you excited that, okay, this looks like it's going to work. And that begins to build a certain energy and a certain connection. And you begin to see that we share similar values about how to manage money, about how to look after our children. The chemistry just started building. And this is, going to 10 years in marriage, more than that as friends, and it's still there. So what I'm trying to say is that you can start it, and there are little things you need to put in place to make sure that spark continues.
That's right.
Because what some people do, they think it's going to be automatic.
Yes, we have it, and that's it.
That's it. No, it's not going to be automatic. There are things you do. It's not like a fire. If you remove the whatever is, the gas, it's going to go off. You have to keep supplying the gas. You have to keep them, if it's the local way of doing it, the firewood, if you remove it, it's going to go off. You have to keep adding the coal, to keep it flaming, So there are specific things.
That's why some couples wake up and say, oh, we've grown apart.
Yes.
Okay, so talking about that, I would refer you to another video of ours.
Yes.
Find it on YouTube, Foundation for Family Affairs channel. Why do couples grow apart?
Yes.
So you'll see some points there. Okay, people just wake up and think, oh, okay, it's not there again. I can't feel the spark. The connection is not there anymore.
Fantastic.
The chemistry is not there anymore. But we've just told you there are things you can do about it, and it's a journey. It's a journey. Marriage is a journey.
Yep.
It's not just an achievement. Okay. All right. So you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that any of the video that we mentioned, you're going to be by the corner. So as you are mentioning it, you're going to see it by the click. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay. Good. Spot on. All right. So the next point I would want to share with you is communication.
Yep.
Okay. Someone will be saying, "Oh, we're just in a relationship. Why is this important?" Really, really, really important.
Yep.
Communication. They will tell you it's the lifeblood of a relationship. That's what sustains it. Okay. And I want to expect that. For both of you who have come together to say we want to start a relationship, it should be a point, it should be that opportunity, that pathway for you to express your experience in the relationship, talk about how you feel in the relationship, express your needs, okay? And there are different needs. Some people will tell you there are 6 needs, some will tell you there are 7, okay? But there are different needs, and some examples, need for love and connection, okay? Need for security.
Yes.
Okay, some people want to be certain that, oh, okay, in this relationship, I'm certain we're in it for life.
Yes.
Okay, how would you communicate? How would that person know if it's not communicated?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to be talking about that. So communication is really vital.
Fantastic. So communication is so critical, like she said, and I want to look at it from, there are different ways people communicate, different reasons people communicate ideas, communicate facts, communicate emotions, all right? Beyond that, communicate needs, which is very important, right? Because if you're in a relationship of an intimate nature, there is an expectation you have a set of expectations that this person will meet your needs in some way. But if you don't communicate these needs, you might have those needs unmet. So you have a lot of unmet needs, or if you don't communicate your expectations, you might have a lot of unrealistic or unmet expectations. That's why it's very important. Another point of view I like to look at this is the importance of creating the right atmosphere for your communication. So if you are a very intelligent guy and you marry a woman that is not as intelligent as you, maybe should, on some specific issues. So for example, some people are very good when it comes to politics, they're so knowledgeable. Yeah. All right, so if any topic about politics, they can do a critical, in-depth analysis. And your spouse is not up to par in that. You should not create an intimidating kind of circumstances where your spouse will be like, hey, I don't want to sound like a foolish person. So she says something that is off because you are so knowledgeable. You're like, oh, how can you? The way you're even rolling your eyes is so intimidating.
Oh, your body language.
Or your body language. It can also be the other way around, where the woman is more, clued on when it comes to finances, and she's just saying some stuff, and the guy has no clue because probably he is not in the business background. He's not he doesn't have a business background. He's in a different field, and so he's trying to understand, and then she's just going on and on with some of her colleagues. No, you should create an ambient, an atmosphere where people can say, I don't feel heard in this relationship. I don't feel like my needs matter in this relationship. Those are very vulnerable communication. All right. So what we are saying here is not just the regular communication. It's what we call intimate communication, where people can feel safe to share their fears, share their dreams, share their goals and aspirations, not without thinking that their spouse is going to think is too low or is too, something. Yeah.
I like the example you just shared.
Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes you see people say, "Oh, I keep even wanting to pull the spouse up, but he's not cooperative." Okay, because we would always say, carry your spouse along. Okay, to bridge the mental gap between you. Okay, so share what you're learning, your new discoveries.
Fantastic.
If you feel your spouse is not meeting up, you can share. Okay, introduce this person to links, to resources that can help this person come up. Okay, but the problem in some relationships is that yes, your spouse may be sharing it, but it's one thing for you to also read what is being shared with you, to go for this information. Okay, and that's why we always encourage people, like we were encouraging you in the last video, to work hard, to be big on self-development. Okay, you can't just allow your spouse to carry on developing him or herself and you're not catching up.
Yes.
It could be embarrassing later. It would cause a lot of problem in the relationship later.
Yes.
Okay, or one person starts feeling left behind, which is not necessary. Okay, so I like that. That's really
thank you so much. And we're not sharing anything we're not doing. I'm not just sharing some nugget that we discovered in the book. This is what has been working for us.
Yes.
I'm not saying reading the book is wrong.
Yes.
I'm saying these are practical ideas that we are practicing. These are real ideas that we are practicing. So when I'm watching something, I want her to listen. If she's busy and she's not, I will discuss it with her. And then she can bring in an input, oh, this is nice. And that's how we keep our mental intimacy intact. Because if you don't do that, you find that gap. And that's why one of the reasons why people go apart actually. So very important.
Yes, so back to communication. It's just important to say, like we've shared. Okay, it helps the connection between you.
Fantastic.
Okay, helps you get more intimate.
Yes.
Okay, helps even with trust because as you communicate, like he was sharing intimate communication.
Yes.
You can communicate your fears, your concerns. Okay, and then you feel validated. Like he gets it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the other point we want to share with you is confirmation.
Yep. Confirmation is so critical.
Yes.
Why? Because fundamentally we are Christians and we believe that you don't just go into a relationship for the sake of going into a relationship. You should feel a sense of inner peace. Now, there are decisions that you want to make that look so wonderful. If you look at all the metrics, all right, all the KPIs, the key performance indicators are all there. I want a guy that is 6 foot tall, this and that and that. I want a lady that is this and this. They tick all the boxes, but something makes it unsettling within your heart. Listen to that inner voice. All right, so listen to that. That's your confirmation. So sometimes you might have a relationship that is not quite there. You know that, but you know that you can walk around this. The key issues that you observed are not what we call non-negotiable. We have what we call negotiable and non-negotiable. I think we discussed in one of our books, relationship red flags. All right, so just to point out, non-negotiable things are things that are so fundamental to you that you can't negotiate this. It's either the person doesn't have it, you can't go into an intimate relationship with the person. Okay, so your own list will be different from other people's list on that. So sometimes you may find some stuff are there, you say, okay, no, I can work around this. But within your heart, you have that inner peace that, what's this? For us, for example, because when we started talking, we knew each other, we were interacting, we were friends, like I said earlier on, and then she traveled. So it created some kind of gap, though then we're not dating per se, so it was much later I asked her out. But one key thing was that there were a lot of questions in my heart. How can I be sure of this person that is not even close by? I don't see every day. I was having that question, but I had this inner peace within my heart that I couldn't push away, even though I was bringing things up to scare myself, to say, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And people will ask me, how? She said, wait, how can you be sure? But I had that inner peace within my heart that couldn't be drowned. All right. Some people may have the other way around, whereby everything looks fine, but anytime you think about marriage, your heart just goes. You just have this fear that just dominates your heart. Don't neglect it. Don't ignore it. Pay attention to it. It might be your inner witness trying to give you a signal confirming or disapproving the relationship. So you may want to step on the brake and have another look.
Yes, and have another look, because it also may be external.
Absolutely.
Like we shared in one of our videos, Overcoming the Fear of Marriage.
Yes.
Okay, so you may want to look for that video and watch it, okay, and see. But I like the point you shared, because yes, different people get confirmation in different ways.
Yes.
And that's why it is just important for you to know how God speaks to you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I would always say it shouldn't be at the point of marriage that you want to then decipher how God speaks to you.
Yes.
You should know how God speaks to you. Remember, through exercising your senses, you kind of are you're able to tell that's God.
Yes.
Okay, I've tried it in the past. I have
Fantastic.
pointers.
Fantastic.
Right? So that's what you should be doing at this point. Okay, get into master the art of hearing God. And then when it's time, or when you're in a relationship, you would know that I've got that assurance.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Another way where you can also confirm is to get people that are really seasoned by like coaches like ourselves, counselors, or people that are in a place of authority, who's not just because they're in a place of authority, but they have a track record. Because there are some people in a place of authority, what they do, they just matchmake people. They just feel like, oh, you guys are good for each other. No, not gambling. That's gambling. You don't matchmake people without having a proper review of their uniqueness, their values. There are many things. There are many moving parts in a relationship. All right. So people have a track record. All right, of track record in terms of relating with you. They know you well. They can also help you look at, oh, this person is the person I'm considering. What do you think of this person? The reason why you need a fresh pair of eyes is because sometimes when you're in a relationship, emotionally, a lot of chemicals, a lot of what do you call it now? Hormones are being released, which impact on your capacity to be rational. So once you have an emotional attachment to someone, your rational capacity sometimes depreciates. So until you get into the relationship, or you say I do, or you get into marriage. So, but when you have people who don't have that emotional attachment, their prejudices are kind of limited, so they are able to give you a more constructive and rational feedback to say, you know what, I like the young man, or he comes across as a lazy person. Why did I say that? X, Y, Z. All right, so it gives you something to think about. At least you will not go into it just based on your emotion. You have what we call informed. You'll be able to make an informed decision. Yes. So very important.
Yes. Now, marrying 2 points, because we talked about chemistry and confirmation. Because we've had people ask us this question. Okay, I know God is asking me to go into this relationship, but I don't feel anything for this person. You see, what we shared earlier now becomes critical.
Yes.
That you can build chemistry.
Yes.
Right? But I know I once told a friend this. Try to build it before you carry on into marriage. It just helps.
Yes.
Okay. Right? And then on the flip side, some people will say, oh, I feel something, but how do I know I'm supposed to be with this person? I don't have any confirmation. So we'll encourage you. You need to have that confirmation.
Very important.
Okay, you need to have, like my dear husband would say, you must have a word from God. Okay, you need to know that it becomes your anchor later. When things are not working well, when it doesn't look like it, you remember that, oh, okay, I have this assurance.
Yes.
And I can count on it.
Fantastic. Yeah? Fantastic, because every marriage, not good ones or bad ones, every marriage you go through a challenge. Every marriage. Why? That's just the way it is. It is what it is. So the moment you guys are going through it, you're going to be reflecting on a lot of things. For some people, they reflect on, how did I get into this? So you need something to anchor you for that phase.
That's right.
So you could be asking yourself a lot of questions that will be questioning the authenticity of your decision, questioning the validity of your choice, all right, questioning the rationality of your choice. So you need something that you can know that, you know what, it might not make sense now, but I know that this was this was God's will for me. And that way you know that whatever you guys are facing is on the natural realm. You can address issues, you can resolve them, you can see a counselor, you can come up with your rules about how to manage issues going forward. You can creating your ambience whereby your spouse can come up to you and say, you know what, I don't enjoy sex with you. These are the reasons why I don't enjoy sex with you. You can create an atmosphere where you can say, you know what, I don't like the way you talk to me when you're upset. Right? You can address issues that that are potential bombs, landmines. Why? Because if you don't create an atmosphere where people can come and say how they feel, what happens? They bottle it in. And when people bottle things in, it's either they explode or they implode. Imploding is where they begin to direct the resentment within, and that can damage people's internal organs. We've seen people who, a lot of the, I was listening to, I think Dr. Gabo or something, a fantastic doctor, and he was saying that a lot of the diseases people experience are emotionally induced illnesses. So some of it are emotional, just stored here, trauma from childhood are just impacting people. And when people explode, it just be like probably a little thing that you do, like the saying goes, the last straw that broke the camel's back. It may just be a little straw. Can you imagine a straw just like a tiny stuff that just carry this one as well, and the camel will just be like, oh no, that's it. So, and you'll be wondering, oh, I just asked him to pass me the cup. Was that it? No, it wasn't it. It was a build-up of things that have been unaddressed, unattended to, and when the spouse tried to address it, the spouse was either intimidated or dismissed, and so the person just hold back. You know what? I'm not going to talk anymore. Whatever, do whatever I like. I'll do mine.
Okay, so we've shared 7 points.
Yeah.
Character, competence,
yes,
charisma, care, chemistry,
yep,
communication, confirmation.
Absolutely.
You need all 7 of them, really.
Mm.
Okay, so just see how you can revamp things in the relationship. And if you're happy, we've got an intimacy builder coaching program for singles. We would leave the link in the description box. So click on the link, fill it, and we'll be in touch.
Yes.
All right. It's an 8-week intensive program, but we can give you a 1-hour taster.
Fantastic. The beauty of this is this. When we came into this industry, the general thing that we hear is, oh, find the right person. But we noticed that something wasn't quite right with that instruction, with that guide, with that templates. Because, if you are, no matter how good a seed is, a seed like an apple seed, if you plant it on the wrong soil, it will never grow. It has nothing to do with the seed. It has nothing. So the key concept is here is this. If you keep telling people find the right person, and they don't become the right person, what happens is that they keep attracting the people like themselves, because birds of a feather flock together. So, but when you adjust yourself, you make some internal adjustment, you make some clarification. This is what we do. We help you to be the right person. So when you become the right person, you now be in that position where you now begin to attract the right people into your space. That's why you see a lot of people, the first relationship, they attract some kind of guy. They're like, oh, what kind of a guy is this? The next person, when you see similar type of girls in your space or guys that you can't really walk down the aisle with, the problem is not them. The problem is you. You are the common denominator who is attracting these people. So you need to make an adjustment within. That's where we come in. Once we help you do that, then the kind of people that you need to attract will be different. Let me explain another. If I become a drug baron today, who do you think will be in my space? People like myself, because that's the image, that's the mirror I'm reflecting to the world. Nice people cannot stay in my space. So the people I have around me now is a function of who I am. If I want to change them, I have to change. And then deliberately begin to look for those people, because now my view is different. It's different from when I'm wearing a yellow gogo. I'm wearing a blue one now. My perspective will be different. And that's where we come in.
Okay, so hit the link and we'll meet you on the other side. All right, so thank you for engaging. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and turn on your notification bell, so you're notified when our content.
So any of the C's that you like, tell us the one that resonates with you, tell us the one you're already practicing, and the ones you want to work on. Put it in the comment section, and let's keep the conversation going.
Yes. All right. So until we come your way again, it's goodbye from us.
Bye.